Being a white South African, growing up in South Africa, I myself was targeted for crime. My family was targeted for crime. We had home invasions. My mother was molested while these guys broke into, tried to kidnap her, and they put her in the trunk of a car and all this other stuff. I've made videos about this stuff in the past. You know, I've been shot at. I've been attacked. I've had lots of bad things happen. My sister's been hijacked at gunpoint. You know, like every member of my family.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
South Africa sucks. It's a shithole. And I'm being completely serious here. South Africa is a nation divided into tribes, and a nation that has been circling the toilet bowl for a very long time. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to hold back. I have every right to criticize South Africa the way I do because I am a white South African. I grew up in South Africa, born in Cape Town, moved to Johannesburg when I was about 10, and I moved to China when I was 25. So that's when I left South Africa at the age of 25 years old, and I will never, ever go back. But what about all this brouhaha in the news now that President Trump has signed something wanting to give refugee status to the Afrikaans ethnic minority in South Africa? Well, we're going to talk about this heavy topic, but first, a data broker rap.
He said a mouthful. And I want to hear the reasons why he has these opinions he has about South Africa, really. I do agree that South Africa, if you look at the crime rate, the highest in the world, murder rate, the highest in the world, rape rate, the highest in the world, unemployment, the highest in the world, inequality, the highest in the world. So, he's not very far off, bro. At all.
So, let's see. Who are the Afrikaners? Who are these people that are supposedly being given a refugee opportunity in America? Well, the Afrikaans people are basically the descendants of Dutch settlers. Think of your Oregon Trail in America. Think of your pioneers with their ox wagons. It's exactly the same thing. Same idea. They also had ox wagons. They went through the African bush. They gave the middle finger to the British, just like you Americans did. And turns out they're incredibly good farmers because, you know, they had to survive and figure out the land and all that along the way. And guess what? They became incredibly good farmers. They are Afrikaans speaking. I'm not an Afrikaner. I do have Afrikaans people on my father's side of the family.
But, like, he does look like an Afrikaner. Everybody, like, if you want a spitting image of what an Afrikaner person looks like, this is it right here, bro. Plus the t-shirt, you know, usually worn by farmers.
I can speak Afrikaans because we had to learn it in school, but I'm not what I affectionately call a Dutchman. I am a Soti, or Soutpil, as they call us.
Bro, this attire looks fire, man. Though, it looks I wonder how much all of these are, like, together. If you put them together.
I am a Soti, or Soutpil, as they call us, which means a salt dick. That's what they call British South Africans like myself. Got 1 foot in South Africa, 1 foot in England with your dungus hanging in the sea.
What the?
Hence the salt dick name. And I'm being completely serious. The Afrikaans people, specifically farmers, the boere, as they call it, boer just means farmer. Have been targeted for murder, been targeted for horrendous crimes for decades now.
But can we, you know, finally agree as people across the world that the EFF doesn't speak for majority black people? They are a small fraction of people who live in South Africa, who are members and who vote for the EFF. And they do not even go over 10% now. Very small number. So we should stop with this idea that, you know, all black people want to kill white people and stuff. Majority of us actually want to coexist with everybody. We're not interested in taking anybody's anything. We just want to make a living, be safe in our communities and get on with our business. It's not about black or white, really.
And by every stretch of the definition of genocide, that is what they're going through and have been going through. There are horrendous stories. I'm not going to get into it because if I even try to describe some of the absolutely disgusting things that have been done to these farmers, in front of their families and to their families.
So these are all the crosses as a representation for every life that was taken through the farm killings. So what you see here, I think this is a tombstone, signifying that, these were farm murders plus moorde. I think it's Afrikaans for farm murder.
And so on. This video would get removed from YouTube. I mean, being a white South African, growing up in South Africa, I myself was targeted for crime. My family was targeted for crime. We had home invasions. My mother was molested while these guys broke into, tried to kidnap her, and they put her in the trunk of a car and all this other stuff. I've made videos about this stuff in the past. I've been shot at. I've been attacked. I've had lots of bad things happen. My sister's been hijacked at gunpoint. Like every member of my family.
Oh, sorry, buddy. What a tough life.
Every friend that I have who's white in South Africa, well, I should be fair and say black too, have experienced crime. But there is a big difference because although everybody in South Africa, and I mean everybody, is a target of crime. And I've mentioned this before in my videos. You get something called a tsotsi. And a tsotsi is a criminal, like a disgusting, vicious criminal. They will attack anyone.
Bro, they calm all of them. There's nothing you can do in this situation, bro. All of them. Somebody's busy with the pockets. Someone is holding your hand. Somebody's choking you, bro. They're going to take everything, dog. And like the people are just there standing. They're not going to do nothing about it because this is South Africa. The government also doesn't want us to own firearms. And I say this because the process of owning a firearm in South Africa is so complicated, bro. And the guns are expensive. The process is lengthy. It's like they don't want you to have a firearm. But we know who has the firearms. These people right here. See, these types of people, they are the ones holding and carrying weapons, walking around the streets, and you are defenseless. This guy's going to lose everything, bro.
Regardless of their race or background, doesn't matter what color they are, doesn't matter who they are, they will rob you, rape you, murder you, torture you, no matter what. Okay, but there's one big difference. And the big difference is you do not get politicians going up on stage or in parliament calling for the slaughter of white people, the slitting of their throats, the murdering of their pets, the killing of their children. You don't get that against any other group in South Africa. There's no politician going up there and saying, shoot the Xhosas or the Zulus, or shoot the Indians, or slit the throats of Indianness, or whatever nonsense you can come up with. There is absolutely only one group who is targeted by politicians and who are discriminated against heavily in the media and by the government, and those are white people.
I will be happy to mure. That will be nice. And Afrikaner black.
Bro, this is in parliament, bro. The EFF are the worst, I'm telling you. The most violent political organization in the country. I think second now is the MK. But there's a lot of infighting happening with the MK. We can make a separate video on that. But these people, they don't care where they are. In fact, when they are in parliament, I think they think it is their time to shine. They're always so volatile and hostile. Very violent. Don't like.
I want the blood of an Afrikaner.
Bro, imagine.
Bring the blood of an Afrikaner. I want it.
Bro, imagine, bro, in parliament. Bro.
I know it's so difficult to talk about this kind of thing because in the world we live in today, the idea that a white European is first of all a minority, and second of all, an ethnic minority that is targeted based on their race for discrimination and crime and murder and all this, it's difficult for people to swallow.
One of us to kill how many whites? We kill the children, we kill the women, we kill their dogs, we kill their cats, We kill anything that comes.
So the guy you just saw, this guy, his name is Andile Mkutama. He's a founder of a Black Fest Land Fest organization that I think he left. He disbanded it. He joined the EFF as the people who were working on the theory of their manifesto, and he sooner left the EFF, and I think he joined the MK. I think he's still there, or he's not. You know, he's a political prost. You know what it is. He's here tomorrow. He's there, depending on who pays him the most money. One of the worst people. He's a far right guy, a far left politician, and he's just an extremist as far as socialism, Fanon and Leninism. All of these people, all of these crazy ideologies, he belongs there, and he's the most extreme you can find, especially in Africa.
We kill anything that comes.
And the idea that a white European ethnic minority could claim refugee status is just so unpalatable for mainstream media and so unpalatable for most sensibilities around the world that they've been ignored for decades.
Bro,
Now, I'm not Afrikaans.
Bro, they taught the kids that. That's crazy. Whoever did that, that's diabolical. That tall guy
But they've
standing
been
there.
ignored for decades.
Bro,
Now,
that guy must be arrested, bro.
I'm not Afrikaans, so this refugee thing doesn't pertain to me. I believe that the Afrikaners deserve to be able to apply for refugee status. And I've seen some horrible people who are trying their best to prevent this because they don't see how a white person should be given the opportunity to apply for refugee status, where, and rightly so, everybody in South Africa is targeted. But what they do not mention is the fact that no other ethnic group in South Africa has people standing up on stage calling for their slaughter and their murder.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point, bro. Nobody in South Africa is facing this type of rage from politicians, except the Afrikaner people. And mostly it is made easier by what happened during apartheid. You know, they always bring apartheid into the conversation every time. Even though we are living in 2025 and it's been over 30 years that the country's been led by the ANC that have practically done everything to destroy anything that worked in this country.
This is how genocides happen. When you've got political forces and when you've got big groups of people calling for the murder of a certain group. When you've got very powerful and influential politicians making their followers believe that all the problems in the world, all of their problems are due to insert your ethnic group here. It always ends up badly. When you start blaming it, especially a small minority, when you start blaming that tiny minority in a country where the majority of people are being riled up and told that they are the people you've got to target. You get rid of them, you get rid of your problems. You know what's going to happen. And it has been happening. You can look up what Plaasmoord is all about, the farm murders, and you will see. You will see just how horrific it is. And of course, I've been very disappointed to see the pushback against this thing by the American government. I've seen this pushback where you've got articles that are so written in such poor taste, with such inflammatory language as to try and blame and celebrate the fact that Afrikaners are being attacked or that white South Africans are being targeted for crime. And I have my entire life noticed that there are certain people, and it's not a small minority of people, but there are a lot of people that celebrate these vicious attacks against white South Africans because they believe that they deserve it. They believe that somehow white people in South Africa deserve to be murdered and raped and tortured and have all of their property that they've worked their entire lives for stolen and taken away simply because of some perceived thing in the past, whether it be apartheid or whether it be colonialism or whatever the case. Somehow they justify it and celebrate these atrocities. And I'm not going to stand for it because having grown up in South Africa, during the dismantling of apartheid, growing up, being told to be tolerant and be compassionate and to accept and embrace this idea of a rainbow nation and see what a facade and what bullshit it really is. I'm not going to stand by when people celebrate the murder, the ethnic cleansing of a minority group of who I happen to be a part of. I'm not going to stand by while people unfairly and unjustly try to prevent these people who genuinely need refugee status from getting it. I'm going to support them. And so, again, I'm not a Dutchman, I'm not Afrikaans, but I support this refugee status thing. I think it's a step in the right direction.
But I don't think South Africans, actually, the white South Africans, the Boere, are actually considering the refugee status to go to the United States. Majority of them, they're just not into that idea. They actually believe that South Africa is their land and they're gonna be here, they're gonna stay. They just want the United States to interfere with the South African government to get rid of the race-based laws and, you know, stop the hate against the white people. That's the only thing they want. Otherwise, they are very much happy to continue with their lives. It's sad what is happening in the white community, really. The government is not helping. Political organizations keep pushing the message that these people are criminal, they stole the land, they are racist, and they must, be ripped of their land and their property. It is the politicians who are creating the division in South Africa, and the dumb South Africans are buying into it. But it is not majority of black South Africans. Majority of us actually just want to coexist and live our lives, If you liked this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, turn on your notifications so that you are notified every time we upload. We are